Hi, we're underneath the hood of a 1966 138 code Chevelle. Very, very desirable car. This particular car is a super sport car to start life, and it did start life with a 396 engine in it. This engine is a 396 period correct, not a numbers correct engine per se for this particular vehicle, but it represents itself as the original engine that would have been in this car to start life. It does have an upgraded Edelbrock aluminum intake manifold. It's painted orange to match the engine to give it the original look that it had. The original manifold would have been cast iron on this vehicle. Has the original Chevy valve pan covers that would have come on this, and the original air cleaner type 14-inch unsilenced air cleaner. Has a set of nacelle wires on it and a nacelle coil. The wires are all new. New fuel pump, new fuel filter. Has power steering, does not have power brakes. Has a single stage master cylinder in it. New battery. Big heavy duty 4-pass big block radiator that would have been original equipment for this vehicle. Has a set of nice headers on it. I'm going to call them 1 3/4 inches. I don't think they're any larger than that. To be a good set of street headers for this particular vehicle. A nice set of headers for this application. It does have the heat lines for the passenger compartment still intact also, so the car does have a heater that functions in it. Everything under the engine compartment here appears to be the way it was in 1966. I really don't see anything that's out of place. The radiator core support doesn't seem as if it's been ever disrupted in any way. It appears to be original. Inner fender pans are just as nice as they were in 66. They're semi-flat black, just the way they should be. Motor's been out. You can see that everything's been refreshened and redone on this engine. It's been completely resealed. I don't know to what extent, but I know that it doesn't have any leaks or anything on it right now. Valve pans are not leaking on it. Nothing present on the back of the intake manifold. The intake itself isn't leaking. Timing chain cover, water pump, everything appears to be just as dry as it could possibly be. Has a 7-blade flex span on it. It's a nice looking engine compartment. The motor's making, I'm sure, a solid 350, probably 370 horsepower. Real nice torquey motors that came in these cars. Let's go around the rest of it and see what we can find. Hi, you're at Hanksters in Daytona Beach, Florida, and we got a neat special guest for you today. 1966 Chevelle. This particular car is a real super sport car. It did start life as a super sport with a big block in it. It is a 138 code car. There's no getting around that. We're going to go around it and see what we can find for you for defects and flaws, aesthetically. Nice fitment of the hood. You can see that clean up to the cowl area, to the front fender, passenger side. Paint on this car is just absolutely stunning. We just got the car back from being wet sanded and buffed, and the paint looks like it's a foot deep on this thing. Really, really nice. Again, nice fitment on this side the same way. About 1/8 of an inch the whole way around. It has the correct 1966 only Super Sport vent style scoops in the hood. Across the front, our anodized trim is really nice. A couple dents there, nothing really bad. Somewhere through the life, a couple stones may have touched it. Around the grill area, Super Sport designation on it. Grill itself, the aluminum is very, very nice on it. Bezels around the headlights, really nice. Another little stone dinghy there. Front bumper fitment. Bumper fitment is about a little bit closer on this side than that side. It could move over about 1/4 of an inch, but certainly within production standards. It does have the optional bumper guards in the front. A little goonie here where a stone or someone backed into it. Not much of a mark, but there is a little tiny indentation there. A little tiny scrape here where somebody apparently backed and chipped the chrome off. Some light brush marks on the chrome. It's original front bumper. You can see that where the water dripped down and kind of distressed the, same here, the chrome through the years. And again, some light brush marks just from usage through the years. Nothing that would dictate you to replace the front bumper in this car. It does have originality to it, and it really is in nice condition. The rest of the chrome on it is very, very nice. Amber parking lights in it. Other than those couple little imperfections in the bumper, a couple little tiny dingies in the trim, which are, you're not even going to see them in a video, they're so small, but I am pointing them out because they are there. Other than that, the front end of this car is great. The paint's great on it. The fit, the finish on it is really, really nice. Let's see what we got on the driver's side. Okay, driver's side of our 1966 Chevelle. Corvette style cross flags in front, 396 designation, because that's what it is, and that's what it started life as. Trim around the front wheel well. No marks or dingies in it. Really nice fitment on this car. I'm really amazed at how nice everything does fit on this car. Correct wiper arms and blades on this car. Tinted window in the front. A little dingy here. You can hardly see it, but there is another little stone ding there, and that's it. Trim around the wing area is really nice. Usually these are, distressed a little bit. They have some patina on the chrome. This one doesn't really show any. A couple little tiny pit marks on the base of the mirror here. Nothing on the, and it is a correct bow tie mirror for this car also. Again, tinted glass down the sides. Wow, that's an option, huh? Rocker panel molding, really, really nice and straight. Very nice and straight. Window wipes have been replaced, and they're as nice as you're going to ever find. They're very, very nice fitment. Notice how the windows also fit. Usually we do with the windows down. They're up in this case, so at least we can address it for you that way. But they fit absolutely flawless. Nice as can be. Drip rail, no marks whatsoever. Nice flat roof, no dents, no dingies in it from something falling out of the loft in the garage on it or anything through the years. Just a really nice straight roof line. Flat as can possibly be. It looks like a wet coffee table up there. Original door handle, tiny little bit of patina on it. Certainly nothing that would dictate that you would change it. Again, look at the fit on this guy. That is really nice. You're not going to find one much better than that. Sail panel, really, really nice on the car. Rear trim around the window. Hatch shelf has been replaced and just as nice and fresh as could possibly be. Just looks like a new one. Quarter panel. Trim around the wheel well. Rocker panel molding in the back. Everything is nice and straight as you want. I really like the fitment of this door. 66 Chevelles just did not come much better fit than that. Really nice setup. Super Sport designation, because that's what this guy started life at, and that's what it is. Quarter panel door, front fender, everything down the side of this car really, really straight. The paint itself is very, very lustrous and nice and deep. Like I say, we just had it wet sanded and buffed, and it's got a lot of look to it. Really nice paint job on this car. Real nice paint job. 15-inch rally wheels. Everybody wants 15-inch rally wheels, and this guy got them. Bigger ones in the back than in the front. They're probably 7s in the front, 8s in the back. Okay, back end of our 66 138 code Chevelle. Again, nice gap the whole way around this rear deck. Look at the paint on this thing. This thing is so smooth. I'm running my hands over it. I can't feel anything. It's just that nice of a paint job. A little bit. This guy's down just a little bit. It has to be lifted up. Okay, I lift that one up, and that one fits perfect. So we have to adjust the rubber bumper on this side so that it lifts this up. This lines up absolutely flawless, and then it puts this exactly where it's supposed to be. So that's one thing that we do have to do. A little flaw in the paint here. I don't know what this is. Little tiny imperfection. Let's say the size of a half a dime. Something that whenever the car was painted, maybe a piece of dirt or a bug landed, who knows what. But there is a little tiny imperfection there. I don't see anything else anywhere else on the car right now. Chevrolet across the back, Super Sport 396 designation. The anodized trim, a little dingy here. A little dingy here. The backup lights and tail lights are just as nice as could possibly be. Bumper fitment on the back here is spot on. Couldn't fit any nicer than it does. Does have the rear bumper guards also to match the front one. They were available individually as an option. This guy has them both, front and back. Chrome on the bumper, really, really nice condition. Very, very nice condition. Other than that slight adjustment, I don't see anything on the back end of this car at all. It's really, really a great finish. No dents, no dings. Great condition. One more side to go. Okay, passenger side, our last side here. Super Sport again, the way it should be. Rear rocker, just as nice as could possibly be. Fender lip again, no dents or dingies or door marks on it. Trim around the back window. It's all tinted glass in this car too, by the way. Windshield, the other side, backlight, and this side is also tinted. Really looks good. The window wipes on this car just fit so well, I can't believe how nice and flush they fit. There's no way you can even get a fingernail underneath them. They just, real precision fit to them. Real nice condition. Oh, also, all tin, no mud. Drip rail the same as the other side. Another original door handle. A little tiny bit of patina, a little bit of wear on the chrome, but again, it's nothing that would dictate that you would replace it. Again, nice fitment of the door. Real nice fit. Chrome around the wing area the same way as the other side, nice as can be. Another little dinghy right here. This guy must have followed people pretty close through the years because he got a lot of stone chips on the nose of the, not in the paint, but little tiny pieces of trim. But again, nothing that you would ever replace this for. This is so minuscule, you're not going to even see it in the video and probably not even in the still photos. But I'm telling you, there is a little tiny mark there. You have to look to find it, but it's there. Again, the correct wiper blade. Also, I neglected to mention on the other side, the dashboard, the padded dash on it is nice looking. It doesn't have any cracks or marks in it. The dashboard itself, where it transitions to the base of the windscreen on this car, is just as clean and crisp as it was when the car was new. Someone had apparently replaced this windshield through the years and took the time to clean that area up. Again, look at the fit of these windows. It's totally amazing. New weather stripping also, nice and resilient across the top for the window seal. Again, look at the fit of these panels. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 panels all, and you can't feel a deviation on it. Really, really great. Fantastic. Little dinghy here. Somebody threw a door open on this guy. There's a little tiny mark here for where a door had been opened on it. I don't see any imperfections in the paint under that one over there. Oh, what? There's a brush touch right here. You can hardly see it, but I just saw a reflection of it, and there is a little tiny brush touch there. That's it. I went over this entire car. You just watched me do it. I picked out every imperfection I could within reasonable standards. I mean, this is, again, not a Porsche or a Ferrari. This is a 50-some-year-old car that wasn't a great fit when it was produced in 1966, let alone now. Fits better than it did in 66 as it sits here now, and certainly the paint is in much better condition now than it was in 1966. They didn't have these finishes back then. All they had was lacquer, and they did a pretty poor job of doing it whenever they put it on in the factory. It wasn't really a great paint job from the factory for GM in the 60s. Car is a real 138 code car. It's a 1966 Chevelle. It presents itself as a great representation of that. Rally wheels on it, great color red, black bucket seat interior, which you'll see the video of here shortly. The chrome is original chrome on this car, and all the trim is original also. So you have to take that into account. You know, there's little tiny minuscule little marks that I pointed out around the trim on the nose of this car or around the back of it, it's original trim on this car. No one's replaced it. So from 1966 to only have those few tiny little marks, you'd never want to replace it. It has too much originality. The way it sits here, the only thing isn't original on the car would be the paint. Other than that, it could pass for a real original 1966 SS Chevelle. It's available here at Hanksters. It's going to be available at a great price for you. It's a fantastic car, a very difficult car to find. Look at the internet and see how many of these you find for sale that are in this condition, and you'll not find one at this price. Check it out, Hanksters, Daytona Beach. Well, we're inside our 1966 Chevelle 138 code, a real SS Chevelle. Big block 396 car. Period correct motor in it also. Headliner is absolutely as new as you're ever going to find one. Sun visors the same way. They look like they're original, but obviously don't need replaced or repaired in any way. Stitching's still all tight on them where they usually come loose. Trim around the windows, little dingy here from some reason. That side appears to be in excellent condition. Headliner coming loose just a little bit in the back here. We're going to have to tuck it into that rubber strip that snaps in place. I don't know why it's coming loose. Apparently when they put the new headliner in, they neglected to snap it in as good as they should have, but we have to address that. Other than that, the headliner's new, the hatch shelf's new. Back seat is as fresh and nice as you're ever going to find one. Carpeting in the car is nice and black, and it appears to be the original style carpeting. I can't verify for sure it is original, but from the condition of the rest of this car, it wouldn't surprise me if it is. It's really in great condition. Rear side panels, all the trim on them is just as nice as can be. Your little ashtrays, how's that? In the back, they're still intact and functional for whatever reason. The window cranks, all of them are nice and new and shiny. Door handles to open them are good. Armrests in the front look to be original and in excellent condition. The horn ring itself is in great condition. It's not pitted up or anything. Steering wheel has a wrap around it. I can't tell you if it has any cracks or not. I don't feel any separations in it, but that doesn't mean there might not be one somewhere. I don't know. It does have a wrap on it. I think I'd leave it there. I wouldn't take it off. Again, the interior, the back seat, the front seat, everything matches up as it should. Just as nice as can possibly be. Original equipment console in this guy. Look at this. Even the glove box opens with the spring on it yet. Really great condition. A couple of auxiliary gauges underneath the dash. The speedometer, their instrument cluster is as nice as can be. Fuel gauge over here, and that's pretty much all they gave you except for the speedometer. There is an aftermarket tachometer on the column here with the car. And again, two auxiliary gauges, temperature and oil pressure. Luckily, no one took a hatchet or anything to this center plate here for the radio. So there is no radio in the vehicle at this point. The individual that buys this will have to put his own sound system in. But the good news is they didn't hack up the dashboard in order to put some kind of a Mickey Mouse radio system in it. It still has its original plate for the original style GM radio that would come in this car. And here's the big key to the whole thing right here. 4-speed Hurst shifter, big block Chevy, and a 4-speed, 12-volt rear end. How much better does it get than that? Great color combination. It's got a great interior in this car. Everything appears to be just as nice and clean and crisp. Even your kick panels are nice. They're not cracked up or broken up. This is a very, very nice 66 Chevelle. Take a look at it. It's on your Hanksters website. We have here our 66 Chevelle 138 car. We have a horn that works. We have a tachometer that works. Fuel gauge that is functioning. It's got between a half and a quarter of a tank of fuel. Speedometer wasn't working, but Devin will show you that in a minute here. Left turn signal is functioning as it should. Right turn signal is functioning as it should. You don't have to worry about the radio working because there isn't one. Here is the wipers that are functioning as they should. 2 auxiliary gauges. Temperature just starting to come up on this one. Water temperature gauge and the oil pressure, of course. You know, it's 50 pounds oil pressure. That's it. It's a nice looking car. It's a 4-speed car. It is a 138. It's a real super sport car. Let's go for a ride and see what it runs like. Nice shifting car. Runs good, drives good. Here. Okay, steering. No hands on the steering wheel, goes straight as an arrow. Absolutely still no hands, and still going straight as an arrow. Let's see how it brakes with no hands. Just fine, straight as an arrow. It's a nice tight running car. Drives just the way it should. Handles, steering's nice and tight on it. Windows, no wind noise or anything around it. All new seals on it. Pretty car. Car pulls as strong as you want. Nice running 396. Nice running car. Well, we're underneath our 1966 138 code real super sport Chevelle. Bright red car, black interior, bucket seats, console, period correct. 396 engine for the car. Has a newer set of shocks in the front, ventilated drum brakes in the front as opposed to discs, heavy duty sway bar. You can notice the engine's been out of the car and completely redone. It has a new fuel pump on it. It has a newer starter on it. But take note, absolutely no leaks whatsoever on the engine. Absolutely none. Also none on the bell housing area or the transmission. It has an M21 Muncie in it. There's no dust shield in the front. Most of these southern cars, they leave them off to allow some circulation of air to keep the clutch or converter in the automatic state a lot cooler. Subframes in the front are just as nice as you'd ever want to have. They have a little bit of the factory sound deadener type undercoating material that they installed in the factory at that point in time. Original brake lines going toward the rear. Original fuel line also intact on the car yet. Subframe structures and the floor pans on this car are original floor pans. They have not been replaced. I'm absolutely sure that they have not been. Frame itself, like I said, the subframe, the boxed frames in the front section where it transitions onto the seat channel, just as nice as you'd ever want to find, ever. The seat channel itself, there's a couple of places where there's indentations from where jack stands or jacks have been used through the years to hoist this car up, but absolutely no issues, no deterioration, no rust whatsoever on the frame anywhere, no scale. Newer U-joint in the front, brand spanking new speedometer cable, parking brake, all the hardware is intact and still functional. The structural supports on the floor pans themselves, again, which are the original floor pans for this car, have not been replaced, nor do they need to be. Like I said, they still have their original sections of sound deadener from GM yet from 1966. Great looking floor section on this car. Substructures are all nice. No one made an attempt to jack it up on them, at least through the years. They stayed out at the C-channel section of the frame. Hurst shifter in the car. Again, no leaks on the tail shaft itself or the transmission. Really good looking car so far. We're halfway back through it, and I don't see a single thing underneath this car. Again, take note, there's just absolutely nothing on the drive line that's leaking. Nice set of long tube headers on it. They appear to be, I'm going to call them 1.5 inches, maybe 1 5/8. Might go for 1 5/8 on these. So there'd be a nice set of 1 5/8 into a 3-inch collector, into a 2.5-inch pipe. And this exhaust system is absolutely brand new. We just had it installed from the flanges the entire way back. So it is a nice stainless exhaust system on the vehicle. It's as nice as you can find. Okay, second half of our 66 Chevelle. Again, the substructures on the floor is totally undisrupted. Absolutely no marks whatsoever on them. Rear floor pans, original, just like the front ones were. The C-channel transitions back into full box frame, again in the back, that goes up over the rear differential. The swing arms on the rear here are really nice. They're not bent up or distorted in any way. Has an F41 style sway bar in the rear of this. It's kind of rare to see that in here, but it does have an F41 style sway bar for the rear differential. Again, 2 turbo mufflers. I'm going to call that 2 1/4 going out. These are 2.5 coming in, 2 1/4 going out. New shocks in the back. Springs are still nice and taut in the rear of this vehicle. 12-bolt Chevy rear, because it is a real 138 code big block Chevelle. Is the original rear end, I'm going to assume anyway. The gas tank is the original gas tank also in this vehicle. It hasn't been out or replaced. The rear frame structures are back to C-channel once they transition up over the rear axle, and they're not distorted in any way whatsoever. One little tiny pull mark in the center of the back brace that goes there. Somebody at one point hooked onto it and pulled it with a chain or a cable or whatever, probably to get it on or off of a vehicle at some point of its life. Rear drop downs and the quarter panels, original and just as nice as you'd want to find. The trunk area up above the gas tank, all original and does not have to be addressed in any way. This is a really nice solid car. 1966 Chevelle, original undercarriage on this vehicle, drum brakes in the rear, drums in the front that are ventilated, fin, and fin drums in the rear also. It's a real deal 138 code car, and you can see this is originality. It's not something that's been addressed or plated or had floor pans put on it. It is as original it was now as it was in 1966 when it was built. Fantastic looking car. I can't see a single thing under here. Has a nice fresh round of rubber on it. It's a nice car. Take a look at it. It's your Hankster's website in Daytona Beach, Florida.